Good morning. This is Shannon here with Finding the Thing. And today we are here with Gillian Smith. She is a 19-year-old singer-songwriter from the local area in central Pennsylvania, and she's a country music singer. So I'm really excited to welcome her. Good morning, Gillian.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I have not had any local celebrities at all. So this feels big to me, and I'm nervous. So I think this will be a good experience for me, and I'm excited to share about you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell my listeners about how you got started and what kind of music you're singing. I want to hear from you. I do want to say I am like a huge Carrie Underwood fan, and I saw that you opened for her in the past, and so
yes.
To me that feels like a really, really big deal.
It was awesome. Yeah, I started singing when I was around 4 years old. I started singing the national anthem at sporting events because my brothers are like 5 and 6 years older than me. So their school would have the sports and I would sing at them. And then I was put in singing lessons when I was 7, and I actually sang opera and classical music until I was about 15.
Wow. Okay.
So totally different than what I'm doing now. But then I had a teacher in high school. I was auditioning for a talent show, and he told me that I had a little twang when I was talking, when I was singing. So he's like, why don't you try a Carrie Underwood song? So I did a Carrie Underwood song, and then I never looked back. I've been doing country music ever since. So I started doing it professionally about 2 years ago. But yeah, I've been singing, it feels like forever.
Yeah, it sounds like forever. So with doing opera and classical voice, like what kind of stuff were you doing with that before was it just training and learning, or were you performing?
I performed for like just my vocal teachers' recitals and stuff like that, but I never performed out. I was also in musical theater. So like growing up, I did all the musicals, plays, all that stuff. So I performed there. And I still did the national anthem places, but I didn't really get into performing until probably about like 16 or 17 when I started actually doing country music as a career.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So cool. Have you grown up, like, do you love country music, or has that been something you've grown up around or anything like that?
Yeah, country music was pretty big in my family. We either listened to like Christian music because my whole dad's side of the family is very Christian. We would listen to that. And then my mom and my brother were really big country music fans. And I remember when I was about 12, we went to a Jasonaldean concert in Hershey. And then my family and we listened to country music ever since. So that's probably the main style of music that I grew up with. And then when I started singing it, that's the only type of music I listen to now is country music.
Okay. Wow. That's so cool. And thanks to your teacher, right? Who said, hey, why don't you try a Carrie Underwood
right.
song? Yeah. So
yeah, I always tell him that. I'm like, you started this. Like, thank you so much. Because I'm still in contact with him because his son is actually a local musician as well. He's a drummer. And he plays drums for me sometimes. So I don't know, it's totally like full circle moments with so many things with music in my life. Like, I started singing a Carrie Underwood song, then I was opening for her. Like, it's crazy. And then he tells me to sing a country song, and now he's coming to my shows and his son is playing for me. Right. Totally crazy.
That's really awesome though.
Thank you.
I love to hear stuff like that. So I guess what can you tell us like a little bit about like what becoming a professional musician looks like? Like, what are the things that you have to do? Because I imagine there's a lot, and
Mhm.
it's really stressful. And
Very.
yeah, so what is this process to like getting music out there and all of that?
It's a very tough process to navigate, and especially as I was 17 when I started doing it. So I had a management team that I started out with. So they were really great, and I still work with them. They're really awesome to, book shows for me around the local area because I didn't know how to do any of that. Like
Well, that's what I was wondering, like, how do you know
oh no,
what
I
to do?
did not know how to do any
Okay.
of that. I didn't. I didn't know how to even write a song. Like I didn't write before I started working with them. And they kind of just helped me along the way on figuring out what to do in the music world. So I worked with them starting my senior year of high school. And then when fall came, I went away to college. I still worked with them a little bit, but then I came back from school after a semester. But yeah, it's a tough process to navigate, but I mean, I'm trying my best still. There's new things I learn every single day. I mean,
Right.
it's definitely a learning curve because there's so many musicians, so many talented musicians who want the same exact thing as you do.
Mhm.
So it's always competitive, always figuring out what is going to get you to the top and what's going to put you above everybody else and set you apart from just another musician. So it's tough, but I mean I'm definitely starting to get more comfortable with it now, but when I first started I was like, where do I even begin? Like I have no idea. I'm just gonna play shows and just see what happens.
Right. Yeah. What has that been like for you? Just the all of that pressure that I
Mhm.
imagine you feel, and like, I mean, there's social, I feel like growing up is so hard for kids in general and for girls. Like,
Mhm.
I do feel like there's so much with social media.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I can't imagine being in the spotlight and what that's like. So can you share about that?
I mean, there's definitely always haters and
Mhm.
with social media. As I mean, when I first started, I had like an Instagram page that was just my personal. But
Mhm.
because I had those followers on there, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this account, make it my music account, and
Right.
just go from there. And I lost probably like 400 followers when I switched it to a music account
Okay.
because people were like, I don't want to see this girl sing. Like they just wanted, they didn't care. So
Yeah.
I lost all those followers. I'm trying to build them back. And I'm constantly telling my managers, I'm like, what do I do? Like I lost so many. So they're like, this is normal. You have to do this. And you'll just get used to it. So, but it is so tough sometimes because there's a million other girls in Nashville where I usually go once a month who look exactly like you, who sound exactly like you, and who want the same exact things as you. So it's like you're like, what do I do? Like
Yeah.
what's gonna make me, you know, get more shows than them, or what's gonna get me a record deal possibly. So
Mhm.
it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, even just as like a professional with a small social media
Yeah.
following and doing this podcast, these kinds of things. I mean, there's so much to know for one
Yeah.
thing. Like, I just like, oh my gosh, I don't know that yet. And just trying to,
Yeah, it's constantly learning process.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm sure it's very different for you, but at the same time, like all of that, I mean, it is a lot. It's really
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
to learn and to maintain like a positive self-esteem. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like does that ever get to you? Do you ever just have a day where you're like, oh, what am I doing here? Or
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. 100.
yeah.
Honestly, I had a lot of those days. Like I my senior year of high school, I left. I left when I graduated and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try college. Like my parents were super big on, just try it. If you don't like it, we'll figure something out. But I knew from the moment I left to go to college, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. So when I got there, I'm like, what am I even doing? I'm like, I'm not performing. I'm not doing what I actually love. Then I'm like on social media and I'm like, all these people are still playing, still having shows. And I'm sitting here in a dorm, hating my life. Like, so I was like, something's got to change.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think with social media, like the self-esteem thing, you are constantly like evaluating yourself. Like, what can I do that's going to make me look better or sound better? Like that, it's constant. I mean, I wish I could say that like that goes away, but it doesn't. Like, I think no matter what age you are and like what point you are at in your life, like you're always going to have that.
Yeah.
It's just, it gets easier to navigate the older you get. So I'm learning, but yeah, it's tough being on social media sometimes.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, you do sound really positive.
I try to be.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I'm sure that really helps you.
Yeah.
And I think it also sounds like you really have found your thing. Like, you know what, because that's what this podcast is about, like this journey to finding what really brings you happiness within. And so it really does sound like you've found something that really brings you that joy.
Yeah. I knew like from the moment that I stepped on a stage, like when I opened for Carrie, like that show was probably the biggest show that I had ever been on, the biggest amount of people I've ever performed. And I was like, you know what, this is it. This is what I meant to do. Like, I'm gonna, however many years, however, I will do whatever it takes just so I can be on stage, have people sing my songs with me. Like, it is the best feeling. You get butterflies.
Yeah.
So I know that this is what I meant to do. But I mean, again, it's still just learning along the way on how to do it.
Right. Yeah. So Carrie Underwood sounds like a super big deal, as I mentioned earlier, as you were saying. Do you have any upcoming shows where people can see you, or any other big experiences like that you want to share with us?
So I play all around Pennsylvania. I play usually every weekend, sometimes Wednesdays, Thursdays, and all my shows are on my website, gilliansmithmusic.com. But I have some really, really, really big shows coming up in the summer that I can't say who I'm opening for yet, but that's going to be really awesome. And I'm actually going on a radio tour next year. So I will be driving and flying to like Iowa, Wisconsin, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, so many. I don't even know anymore. But I'll be playing my song Just Me for these radio stations.
Okay. Wow, very cool. I wanted to ask you about Just Me and how that song came to be and like what that means for you.
Yeah, so I went to Nashville probably about 8 months ago, and I was planning on recording a few songs. And I write, like I said, but I felt like I didn't have the best songs to record. So my management team and my producer, they were like, well, we'll have some songwriters here in Nashville, pitch you a song. So basically they record demos of it, just like a quick little voice memo of guitar and stuff like that of them singing it. They send it over and they want you to pick their song, because if you make money on the song, the songwriter makes money on the song. So it's like, it's a win-win for everybody. So I was in the truck with my producer and my managers, and he was playing all these demos, and Just Me came on, and and I would say 15 seconds, I was like, yep, this is one of them. Like, I have to do it. I heard the lyrics and I was like, this is so relatable right now. I mean, you only have you at the end of the day. So why are you trying to be anybody else? That's basically what the song is trying to say. Like, just be you, be unapologetically you. Don't care what other people think about you, because, just embrace what you love and like stuff like that. So I I recorded it and I put it out this past summer, and it was doing well. It was doing really well. And then I met my radio tour manager, who was like, this song is so marketable for young people. Like they love this type of stuff. So then I was able to sign this contract, and I'm going to be able to travel because of the song. So it's super exciting.
That's so exciting. And I feel like with what you just shared of the lyrics, it is so relatable,
Mhm.
and it's such a good message,
Yeah.
so wow, very, very cool. Do you want to sing a few lines of it for us, or is that too much?
No, I can. I don't have my guitar player, because a
Yeah.
guitar player travels with me,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, I would love that. I would love to hear and share that with our listeners. Obviously, we're going to post in the show notes ways to listen to you and
Okay.
where to see you and all of that stuff. But I would love to hear just a couple lines.
Okay.
Right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll sing a little bit of the chorus. Take it or leave it. I am who I am. No, I ain't perfect, but that was never the plan. No, I'm not trying to be the girl the world wants me to be. I'm just me.
That's so beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Gosh, thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm trying to think here, like what else we would want to talk about in regard to your career. Is there anything else you really want the listeners to know? Yeah, I just,
I do want to say that, like, finding music wasn't like the easiest thing. I mean, like I said, I went to college and I was there for a semester, so I didn't even make it a whole year, but I was in my dorm room all the time. Like, I should be going home. I should be singing. I should be playing. I should be traveling. And now I'm stuck in a dorm room. I didn't leave my room. Like, it got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to be here. Like, I just need my parents to come pick me up. I would call my mom crying every single day. And like, you know, I'm like, this isn't the environment for me. I know exactly what I want to do. So I'm wasting time and money by being here. And there's so many people. I think it's also a social media thing, and just I don't know if it's a generational thing, but people are like, you need to go to college. Like, there is no other
option, right?
Yeah, like,
Mhm.
you have to go. And so, like, of course I felt the pressure like everybody else. And I was like, okay, I'll go, I'll try it. And I met a few good friends there, but I didn't find like what was meant for me there. And I knew that what was meant for me was music. So I called my mom one day. I was in my dorm room, like always. And it was on a weekend, and I just called her. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I'm so sorry, but like, I need you to come pick me up after, like, as soon as the semester's over. There was 2 weeks left. I was like, as soon as the semester's over, come pick me up, and I'm done. Like, I'm done with college. Like, I can't do it anymore. And I'm so thankful that my parents are so, so supportive. Like, I would not be able to do it without them. But they were like, you know what? That's fine. We'll figure out your next move. Like, you can come home. So they allowed me to come home, and I then started playing more music. I did an online semester of school, and I was like, not for me, not doing it. It's all learning what is going to work for you. So I just stopped school completely. And then I was playing like Wednesday through Sunday every single week this summer. So I was like, you know what, this is what I'm meant to do. And it's all falling into place, but it takes a while to find your thing,
Yeah.
like I'm lucky that I found it at 19.
I know, it's amazing because
Yeah.
I feel like people struggle throughout their entire lives, like
Yeah.
knowing what their thing is, what that purpose for them is.
Yeah.
So that's so amazing that you have found it at 19 years old.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that, because I mean, I don't I always told my mom, I'm like, I don't want to be 50 years old working a 9 to 5 job, wishing that I was on stage performing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to allow myself to have that regret. And I know there's so many people out there that hate their jobs and hate what they're doing. I'm like, just find what, it's hard to take the leap. But I mean, just do it, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to regret it so much, just staying in that job or staying in whatever lifestyle that you don't want to be in, and you know what you want to do. Or even if you don't know what you want to do, like, you just got to find the next
Figure
thing.
it out.
Yeah.
So, well, that's a wonderful message to end this episode on, I think. And tell us where our listeners can find you, and especially that Wednesday through Sunday time frame where you said you're playing out places. Like, where can people find you?
So I'm on all social media platforms. It's Gillian Smith Musics on all of them. It's spelled with a G. And I have a website, gilliansmithmusic.com, which has my shows where I'm playing, stuff like that. Like I said, I have a lot of big things coming up in 2023, so I'm super excited. And you can find my music just under Gillian Smith on all major streaming platforms. So you can check it out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. This has been great. And thank you for singing. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure.